What is going on, Pats Nation? It's your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global, back here with another one. Today, we are officially in the next process of the offseason program here for the New England Patriots, as OTAs, they're officially over. We recapped every day that was open to the media, but now we are in mandatory minicamp. The difference between this and OTAs is that these are practices that players are mandated to be at. OTAs, they're optional. You want to come? Okay. You don't? Okay. Even though you pretty much kind of have to go to those, kind of just what the coaches want. But when you get into minicamp, you can be fined for not showing up there. So today we're going to break down what happened here on day one. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Now, starting off here, one big thing that I do want to let you guys know is that mandatory minicamp is usually 3 days. The Patriots announced here immediately that they're only going to be having 2 days. It sounds like day 3 is going to be more of an opportunity for these guys to come together and just build chemistry as a unit, as a team. And this is usually what we see them do. Whether it was Gerard Mayo, whether it was Bill Belichick, we usually see these guys not actually participate on the third day. They only come in on day 1. They come in on day 2. Day 3, the team usually would go out and they would do some type of team bonding exercise. Maybe they go bowling. Maybe they go out into Boston and do something together. I believe last year or the year prior, they went paintballing as a team. A time for them to put the football down and just start building that team chemistry together. So we're only going to be having day 1 and day 2 of minicamp. Day 3 officially canceled. Now let's get into some regular notes here, starting off with the general, who is absent or who is there but not participating. Starting off here with Matt Collins. Now, Matt Collins, he didn't participate in any OTA practices, but he was there. It's not like he's just not showing up. Matt Collins is there, but just not participating. It sounds like he's dealing with maybe some type of injury. That's why he has not participated in OTAs. That's also why he's now not participating at the start of minicamp. This is going to be a storyline to watch as we get into training camp. What is his availability going to be like? Because he is projected to be a pretty big part to what this team is doing offensively. Now, although he's not on the field from a physical standpoint, he is still making his name heard. He is still being a veteran. He is still helping these young wide receivers out in kind of a learning process and being that, mentor veteran. I mean, Pop Douglas in his post-interview after day 1 of practice here today for minicamp even said that guys like Stefon Diggs and Matt Collins, he said both of those guys' names verbatim, saying that those guys have been really big for this wide receiver room in their process of just building a culture and helping out some of these young guys. But you also had Wes Schweitzer, the veteran interior offensive lineman, not there today. He was there for pretty much all OTAs, so I'll be interested to see why he wasn't there today. Is he there tomorrow? Is he bouncing back? Did he have an excuse absence or not? Something to watch there. Tyrese Robinson, another offensive guard, not there today. Jelani Tavai, we know he wasn't there. He got injured in the final OTA practice open to the media. And then Miles Battle, also not there. Guys who returned today, you had Travion Williams, the veteran running back that was picked up about a month ago, the former Cincinnati Bengal. Really didn't see him at all during OTAs. We finally get him back for mandatory minicamp. You also had Kendrick Bourne return, Anthony Jennings, Carlton Davis, and Marcus Jones. As for the guys that were there, but they were limited. They were not full participants, but they were still practicing. You have Stefon Diggs still coming back from that injury. Jalen Polk, Vidarian Lowe, Michael Onwenu, Jared Wilson, Jaquelin Roy, and Wilfred Penne. So one thing I will say is that although Stefon Diggs is still a limited participant, whether he's on the field practicing or not, you just constantly see photos. You see videos of him helping out these young wide receivers. There was a video that came out, and there was one point where the wide receivers are doing their one-on-one drills, and Stefon Diggs is the one lining up against every single one of them, on top of doing his own reps, just kind of helping them, getting in their head a little bit, telling them what they need to do, kind of pointing out, some things about their game. Hey, maybe this is something you can do on this route to get open. Hey, hit this harder a little bit. This is how you can get in and out of your breaks a little bit quicker. Stefon Diggs has been very, very vocal and obviously vocal about helping out this young wide receiver core. Overall, today's practice was heavy on red zone work for the offense. Very competitive day, the most competitive practice that we have seen so far. A lot of energy for this team. You saw that energy in some of these players' post-game press conferences. You go to the New England Patriots YouTube page, it was Harold Landry, Christian Barmore, Pop Douglas, Milton Williams, all with the post-game pressers, and all of them, you can just see the energy with those guys, especially Pop, especially Christian Barmore. And I think that comes with the energy that these guys and the coaching staff are putting into these practices. Now, getting on to each individual position, starting off here with the quarterbacks, starting on here with the 11 on 11s, just like OTAs, there are no 7 on 7s. So as for the 11 on 11s, Drake Maye with a pretty damn good day, man. 14 of 18. Joshua Dobbs goes 9 for 13 with an interception, and Ben Woolridge, the UDFA quarterback, goes 1 for 4. It was said that this was a really solid day overall for Drake Maye. And the passing game, it sounded like Drake Maye was under pressure a lot, something we don't want to hear, but he was under pressure a lot, especially to start practice. It seemed like they started to even things out a little bit as practice went on. Drake Maye at one point did take a sack, but he was still accurate. He was on time with his throws. Overall, when they got into the red zone and they did that red zone work, he was very, very good. He was executing those red zone drills. So, the big storyline so far this offseason is from that day one of OTAs open to the media. Drake Maye throws 4 interceptions, but it sounds like with each practice, and Drake Maye said this himself, each practice is getting a little bit more comfortable, understanding what the offense is trying to do, building that chemistry with their players, and just building chemistry within the system. That's why I told you guys, do not panic in OTAs. If these same things happen come training camp, yes, we panic. But these are the things that are supposed to happen this early on in the process, and you want to see, how does he get better each and every day in practice? And so far, that's exactly what Drake Maye is doing. As for the running backs, rookie running back Travion Henderson beat Christian Ellis for a touchdown in 11 on 11s. And then UDFA running back Lan Larison had a great over-the-shoulder catch on a touchdown ball from Joshua Dobbs. Moving on to these wide receivers, DeMario Douglas had 3 catches in team drills, including 1 touchdown. Rookie third-round pick in Kyle Williams makes the play of the day. This is not the first time that we've seen Kyle Williams make the play of the day. This time, he had a play where he hauled in a bomb from Joshua Dobbs for a 50-yard touchdown. Sounded like, based off of reports, he just split the safeties. Sounded like it was a go route. Don't quote me, but it sounded like on a go route, just split the safeties. Joshua Dobbs found him, and a 50-yard touchdown from Joshua Dobbs to Kyle Williams. This is exactly what Williams was brought in here to do. Sounds like maybe not so much a Stefon Diggs type of role for Kyle Williams early on, but maybe more of a Brandon Cooks-esque, Philip Dorsett-esque, Nelson Aguilar-esque type of role for Kyle Williams. Now, Kendrick Bourne had a what should be a touchdown catch from Drake Maye, or would be touchdown catch from Drake Maye at the end of the end zone, where he was unable to get his feet in. Overall, Kendrick Bourne had 3 catches on the day, exactly what you want to see. KB, who was there early for OTAs, then last few OTAs, he wasn't there. He elected to not practice, but was here for the start of mandatory minicamp. He's definitely competing for a job, and I really hope KB makes it, but he's going to have to continue to build on days like these. And then finally here for the wide receivers, it was listed as a quiet day for UDFA wide receiver Efton Chisholm, who has balled out through rookie minicamp, who balled out through OTAs, who's doing really, really well so far, working with all 3 quarterbacks. And it was, quote, a quiet day for him because he was targeted only 2 times with 2 receptions. So Efton Chisholm continues to catch everything that's thrown his way, but because he only has 2 catches in team drills, now he's quiet. Maybe he's more quiet than he was in recent practices, but that just goes to show how big, Efton Chisholm has been performing, how well he's been doing thus far. There are some players who are not catching passes, period. So the fact that he even caught 2 balls on 2 targets, I think that's pretty big. And to me, his stock is still going up because in these one-on-one matchups in the red zone, I thought he had a really, really good rep. You can see it here, and it just started, so we got to rewatch it, but kind of just on a whip route, comes right back in the back of the end zone. You can just see how sharp his cuts are. Like, we're talking about who's the next Julian Edelman, who's the next Wes Welker, who's the next Jacoby Myers. We're talking about Efton Chisholm for a reason, and these cuts are very, very reminiscent of a Julian Edelman, of a Wes Welker, of a Danny Amendola, and you just know that Josh McDaniels is excited for this guy. So for me, the stock for Efton Chisholm is still as high as it's ever been. Moving on to the tight ends, drops that you had one from the UDFA tight end, CJ Dupree. Overall, not much to talk about. There was a lot of times where Josh McDaniels was off on the side talking to Hunter Henry. They already have chemistry back from 2021, though. I think it is going to be a big, big year for Hunter Henry, though. I'm on record saying that. Moving on to the offensive line, though, Will Campbell and Kayshon Boutte continue to have really good one-on-one reps. Both are getting their share of wins. I want to know who's going to be the winner, right? I mean, we've been hearing about this all through OTAs. Now we're hearing it through the first day of mandatory minicamp. I want to hear more storylines about this. Now, there's only so much that can happen because there's no pads, there's no contact. But, come training camp, I want to know who's actually winning. Not, he's getting his share of reps, but I want to know who's been the better guy, who's been the more consistent guy. Is it Will Campbell? Is it Kayshon Boutte? That is one of the biggest storylines that I am going to be watching come training camp. And then also you had Cole Strange getting the most work at left guard through the first day of minicamp. Again, let's see what it's like tomorrow. Wes Schweitzer, again, wasn't there, so that could be, part of the reason. But I said day 2 or day 3 of OTAs in the video I made recapping practice. I said, look, I'm not reporting anything, but based off of what I'm seeing, based off of what we're hearing, if I had to put my money on it right now, I would say Cole Strange, as long as he stays healthy, is going to be your starting left guard come week 1. And I still feel that way. It feels like each practice we're trending more and more and more towards Cole Strange being your starting guy. But again, too early to be definite, but stock up still here for Cole Strange. Moving on here to the defensive line. Sacks today, you had K'Lavon Chaisson with 1, and then you also had Kyrie's Tonga with 1. So both offseason additions for the Patriots in free agency, both having plays on the day. The defensive line was causing big issues for Drake Maye. Like I said earlier, Drake Maye was just often under pressure. Sounds like all 3 of these quarterbacks were often under pressure. Is it the offensive line is struggling, or is this defensive line just that good? In his I'll keep saying post-game press conference, in his post-practice press conference, you had Harold Landry say that, he feels as good as he ever has in his entire career here playing with the Patriots, even saying that he's really, really jacked up. He's super excited to play with this defensive line because it's one of the best units he's played with in his career. So there is a lot of potential here for this D-line, not just from us fans, not just from analysts, but it sounds like even the players on the field see the potential with this defensive line, which the Patriots have put a lot of priority into this offseason. So again, is the O-line just struggling that bad, or is this D-line just that good with the potential to be top 5 in the NFL this season? That's the question. No talk here for the linebackers, but as for cornerbacks, you had Isaiah Bolden with an interception today. That was on Joshua Dobbs. And from what was said, it would have been a pick 6 in a game. On top of that, Isaiah Bolden also had a pass breakup. So stock up here for Isaiah Bolden, which, man, as a 7th round pick, 2 years ago, this was a guy that showed promise as a player in that secondary, has had some issues staying healthy, right? I don't feel like was always given the opportunity. Really, really hope that he continues to show out like this so that it forces Terrell Williams, it forces Mike Vrabel to actually start utilizing this kid for once in that defense. And then you also had Carlton Davis with a pass breakup. As for the safeties, you had Del Pettis, the UDFA from last year, have a pass breakup, and then Josh Minkins also have a pass breakup. And then lastly, to wrap us up here for special teams, both Andy Borregales and John Parker Romo went a perfect 4 for 4 on their field goals. That was between 33 to 48 yards. Day 1 of OTAs, you had Andy Borregales win. Day 2, by one kick, and it was just barely made, you had John Parker Romo win day 2. Day 3, you had Andy Borregales win. Then today, it sounds like it was a pretty good tie. So nothing is said and done, but you definitely see that 6th round pick in Andy Borregales is definitely winning the kicker battle thus far throughout spring practices. But this is where I kick it to you guys. What are your thoughts on our takeaways from day 1 of mandatory minicamp? Make sure you guys subscribe here to the channel at Patriots Global for all your New England Patriots news, thoughts, reactions, breakdown, analysis, all of that. We are going to have you guys covered for day 2 tomorrow of mandatory minicamp. We also have covered 3 days of optional OTAs if you want to check out those practices. We also will have winners and losers from OTAs coming out later this week, along with winners and losers from minicamp also coming out later this week. Comment your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a big like on the video. But as always, I'm Colby. Thanks for watching.